What is going on, guys? We're back here with Blake, and he is on his volcanic deck again. We are back here for the much requested FTK combo video. So you found a lot of ways to get to the combo, right?
24 and counting.
That's insane. All right.
Starting hand, I should say.
Yeah, and now unfortunately it's not like a one or card combo. It's like two or three, right?
Two or three, depending on the cards.
Yeah, but the fact that you have so many ways to get to it is just insane. So let's go ahead and go through one. So this is like the easiest one, or like your favorite one, or what?
I mean, this is just kind of the easiest one to understand.
Yeah, so we got Shell, Heat of the Phytochanneler, and Fire Ejection. So how do we go and get through this? So
you can start one of two ways.
Right.
Generally, how I tell people to do it is Fire Ejection first, because when you give them a token, it then stops them from being able to play Imperm.
Yep, it stops them from Imperm. Doesn't stop them from Biscuing, but that's like fine. You don't care. All your stuff is fire anyway.
Yeah. So we go Fire Ejection.
Yep.
Fire Ejection, sending a Rimfire to grave.
Yeah, we get our token.
Yep, you get the token. Doesn't matter where you put it, doesn't matter what position you put it in. Attack.
Yep.
Anyway, after that, Fire Ejection goes to grave. Rimfire's effect goes off. We banish it.
And that grabs a Blaze Accelerator, right?
No.
What does it grab?
That sends Emperor to grave.
All right, and Emperor is like the main way we do the FTK, right? So that's like the card you don't want to get DD crowed or called by.
Pretty much, yeah. That's why you usually play two. I was actually not playing two today for just a different reason. I'm just going to grab one of any card because you do need something to discard, but in your starting hand you'll have extra cards. So
yeah, so you need a blank card. So this is kind of like a 4-card.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, this is like a 4-card combo, but it's still like.
But in your starting hand you'll have two extra cards.
Yeah, and if you're FTKing on your opponent's draw phase, it doesn't really matter, right?
So then we discard our Fire Channeler and Shell, or search for Trooper, because Trooper has more attack than the Shell.
Yep.
You can do that with your Rimfire, Shell,
Ash Blossom,
Counter, Ash Blossom, or Scatter Shot.
There's so many cards you can do it with.
The best one to do is Shell because of
Shell.
what else you do with it. So after that, Shell, pay 500. I really should organize these first. Grab another Shell. After that, we summon the Trooper. Trooper grabs us Volcanic Blaze Accelerator.
Right.
Or if you already had it, you can do other things, but this is just this combo line.
Yep.
We activate the Volcanic Blaze Accelerator.
And you do have to pitch the normal Blaze Accelerator for this. Yep, people seem to be confused about that.
It's an activation requirement, so it's not sending, meaning you can't action it.
Yep.
It is just, I activate this has to go here, you can't stop it unless you're like under D-shifter.
Yeah.
That's really annoying when that happens.
Yeah, and you do have to send the normal Volcanic or Blaze Accelerator because it says send a Blaze Accelerator, not a Blaze Accelerator card. So.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah, we would love if we could play without it, but whatever.
Then we go Trooper's Effect, we discard our one whatever card,
a blank
give them
card,
a second token.
Okay, so we got 2 tokens here.
2 tokens. We activate the Volcanic Blaze Accelerator effect, special summon the Shell.
Yep.
Then we can do this in a few different ways. Doesn't really matter because we have 2 tokens, so no matter what, we're going to have them on there. We've used our one effect in order to summon the Shell.
Right.
Activate its other effects, send a level 1 Pyro from deck to grave to pop one of the tokens.
Alright.
Where we send another Rimfire, we pop one of the tokens, that burns them for 500.
Yep, so we take 5. So
you're at 75
So right here we're at 75, yep.
Rimfire's effect, we banish the Blaze Accelerator to activate another Blaze Accelerator card from hand or deck. You can activate the vanilla one, you can activate the trap, but generally you're going to want to activate the spell again because it is a soft return, and that's how you get to the FTK.
Right.
After that, we link off the Shell, link 1 into Relinquished Anima.
Yep.
I know that seems weird because you can't take a token. That's not why we have it. We have it because it's a spellcaster.
Yep.
Next, we activate the Shell's effect, pay another 500, grab another Shell. I think it was near the top here, I don't remember. Of course, now it's not, right? Where's my other Shell?
You only got through 2, I believe.
I know I've only gone through 2.
And the blank card was...
there it is. It was hiding.
Yeah, there it is.
So there's our Shell.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I made sure it wasn't a blank.
Alright.
So now that we have our new Volcanic Blaze Accelerator, we can special again, so another Shell. Then we declare activate effect from the deck, Crater Inari Fire.
Yep.
Which sounds like a psycho move, but
I didn't actually know it could do that, yeah.
Crater Inari Fire.
Yeah, so this card, I thought the only cards that could activate and summon themselves from deck was like Red Eyes Metal Dragon and like the Great Sage, but yeah, apparently that does it too. So
There are some of the Awakening of the Possessed cards from the Charmers. They can do the same thing for different requirements. The requirement of a Greater Inari Fire, it's a level 4 or lower fire and a Spellcaster, which is why we have the Anima. So Anima goes to grave, and then we can do Shell or Trooper, doesn't matter, we just need the body of a fire monster. That summons the Greater Inari Fire. Because it's its own effect from the deck, you can't ash that either.
Right.
Which is fantastic. When it's summoned, non-targeting, you just burn your opponent for the attack points of one of their monsters. So you choose a monster and it burns it for their attack points. There's no targeting, it's not destroying anything, it's just, that's 1,000, you take 1,000.
So we've taken 15 total.
Taking 15, you're at 65.
Yep.
The next thing we do is we link 2 into the Sunlight Wolf.
Yep. Ghost Rear.
Then, when the Greater Inari Fire goes to grave, you get to add a Spiritual Fire Art or a Possessed Spell Trap from deck to hand.
Right.
Which, for this, we don't play any Possessed Spell Trap. We just grab the Spiritual Fire Art, Kurnai or Kurnai, or however you say it, I don't know.
Which is tribute to burn your opponent for an attack.
Tribute a fire monster, inflict damage to your opponent equal to its original attack points.
Yeah.
After we grab that, we go all the way back down to our Emperor in the start here.
Yep.
We banish the Greater Inari Fire, Shell, and Rimfire. Summon the Emperor in the Sunlight Wolf Link Arrow because it then chain blocks. Chain Link 1 Emperor, Chain Link 2 Sunlight Wolf.
Yep.
We still have a token because of this setup. Sometimes you will, sometimes you won't on their field. Because we have a token, they can't imperm anyway.
Yeah.
But it still stops if we have like a Ghost Ogre or something.
Yep.
So Sunlight Wolf's first effect, we grab a fire back. So we can grab, if we want a Searcher, if we have another fire in hand, otherwise we just grab Trooper because that's just our general summon and Searcher.
Yep.
If we fail the OTK.
And then Volcanic Emperor is going to burn us for 500 times our banished fires. So currently we have 5.
It's Pyros.
Oh, it's Pyros.
But it's also just all banished Pyros. So in a mirror match, it goes insane.
That's hilarious. So
After it does that, that brings you down to 4,500.
Yep, so we're taking
2,000.
Yep, we're taking 2K. Yep.
And that's why we need the Rimfire's effect to go off.
Yep.
Because you fall just short if you don't. Unless you send a Scatter Shot to grave or something, then you're good. Like if your blank card that you discarded off Trooper is a Scatter Shot, you can go without the Rimfire. It's just rough because if you don't have that Rimfire removed from play, usually you wouldn't have had an Emperor unless you started in hand with an Emperor and a Shell.
Makes sense.
We set the Volcanic Emission off of that.
Right.
Volcanic Emission just kind of does everything. You set it off of the Emperor, then you can either special summon a Volcanic from the deck, add a Volcanic from deck to hand, or you target a Pyro monster on the field, you burn your opponent for its original attack, but if you control it, they take half damage. So if you gave someone a Volcanic Queen, you burn them for a full 25, Emperor's going to be 1550.
Right.
We set that.
And
we
we set
added our
the-
Spiritual Fire, we set that too. You're sitting at 4,500. On that, we pass the turn. They draw their card. We activate the emission. Second effect, target Emperor, burn them for 1550, brings them down to 2950. After that resolves, you have to have it resolved because this is cost of tributing. If you chain link 1 or 2 this, it gets rid of Emperor before you can emission. So you have to have emission resolved first. Spiritual Fire at Kurnai, tribute the Emperor, burn them for 31. They're only at 2950. That's game.
8150 on your turn and their draw phase. This reminds me, let's go up. So this reminds me a lot of like the Monarch Life Equalizer Magical Explosion FTK, where it's like, it feels like there might be like a decent amount of ways to interact with this, but it's just like really just, you have so many ways to get to it. Sure, it's not a 1 or 2 card, it's not a 1 card combo, it's a 3.5, at least the one you showed us, but you're spending 3.5 cards to win the game.
Before your opponent really gets a turn to do it.
Yeah. Like, sure, obviously, like, you might lose to things like Droll and Shifter, and that's par for the course for any deck. Like you said, you chain blocked it, and you structured it in a way where you can't lose to Imperm, you can't lose to Ghost Ogre. You might lose to things like Valor or Ghost Mourner, but those cards are much less common right now.
Ghost Spell, too, just because if they Ghost Spell, like one of your Rimfires, then it just stops things.
Yeah.
The other thing I found is pretty much the only two quick play spells, or well, a couple of quick play spells. The books,
Book of Moon,
Eclipse,
yep,
that kind of thing. Those are really annoying because those are quick plays. They can activate them on their draw phase. That and pretty much Super Poly.
Yeah,
That's
Super
about all that
Poly.
happens. Super Poly is really a pain because I can't even respond. I can't, play Super Poly. I can't tribute off the Emperor with current eye, nothing. So.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it's still an FTK. If you can get it off, if you go uninterrupted, you do just win the game.
Yeah, it's like a 2-tier FTK.
Yeah.
A tier 2 FTK.
Yeah, but then even if you're not, you still have things like Scatter Shot with Blaze Accelerator. You still have Volcanic Counter. You still have so many cards that either like get you there, or they just interrupt your opponent in just so many different ways. It's really strong.
Yeah. With Trooper, if your discard card happens to be a reload, you can both either set up for next turn if they somehow live. You can get the reload Scatter Shot, burn them for 15, destroy all their monsters, or if you send it and say, you don't have a way to get a Rimfire or a Scatter Shot, Rimfire or a Shell Engrave, you can get one, you can't get the other, here's your way to get the other engrave.
Very
Or if
cool.
you use Rimfire to send Shell, you can use this to get Emperor. It's really just whatever you need.
Yeah, it's you can get to it in a lot of different ways. Like you said, you have 20 some odd ways to do the FTK, and you're still finding out more lines. It's only going to get better when the Snake Eyes cards come out. And you can,
Hopefully,
you
we'll
can
see.
you can just play less cards.
Taking time. So
Yeah.
one thing I did change out, just because it's a little bit funny, a little bit memey,
Yeah.
took out one of the two Emperors and put in a Blaster Dragon Ruler of Inferno because he's unbanned after like a decade.
And it does like do a lot of things. Like if your hand's all monsters, like you can Blaster pitch Shell. That's like at least something or pitch Rimfire, which
Yep,
is almost
you can,
better.
You can do that to, destroy something on your opponent's field. Otherwise, like it happened to you today, I did not have another special summon off of a Blaze Accelerator, but I did have the Blaster. So I specialed the Blaster, and that's how I got the Greater Inari Fire off the field for the Spiritual Fire or Current Eye.
Yeah. So it's just a free special summon. It's like there's not really a reason not to play
I
it.
already have enough fires that I put everywhere that can, just get rid of, summon it,
Yeah.
for extra summon to link off.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely gonna have to take another look at this Volcanic deck when what's the next set that comes out? Age of Overlides. Yeah. When that stuff comes out, we're definitely gonna have to do a new deck profile. But anyways, thanks for watching. Do you have any shout outs?
Pain, like always.
Yeah.
We love Pain. Pain's the real one for fighting for the support. 1,505 days, I believe he posted on Twitter consecutively.
That's hilarious. That's
4 years.
yeah, a little bit over 4 years.
No,
Yeah.
sorry, I can't
It's
do
5.
5?
It's a little bit under 5, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 4 or 4.5.
Yeah. That's very. All right. Well, thanks, Blake.